we're live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Spark Seat on Thursday night. This is new for us to do an evening Spark Seat, so I'm so excited to be here with you all. We have our fourth beautiful human being who's going to be popping on in just a second. I know she's coming soon. Jasmine, come back, Jasmine. In the meantime, we're going to kick us off because I know that the universe is going to be on our side and Jasmine's going to make it. And I know also that we have some wonderful Spark family members in the community excited to engage in this conversation. So let's get started, y'all. As always, these Spark Seats are really a time and a space for us to engage, to spark connections and conversations, specifically about courageous leadership. I choose to talk about courageous leadership because during these times, holla, Coco says, so y'all can see the comments that come through. And so this is Cosette, who literally, her nickname is Coco. So I'm so excited about that. Coco, love triangle. But yeah, so I'm so excited to both engage around courageous leadership, especially during these times. There's not a day that goes by when a headline doesn't break my heart, honestly. And there's so much that's required of us as leaders to take a leap of faith, to step into the unknown in service of a really important mission. And these wonderful, bold, bright, brilliant, badass boss ladies are going to be here to talk with us about this amazing, amazing venture that they have going on. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Coco Coalition and these three beautiful people. Yay, Jasmine's coming back. I can feel it. I can see it. She's coming back. And 2, 1, boom. All right.
Yes, Lord Almighty. I block it. Whatever the Lord is, the devil is trying to do right now, I block it. The enemy got some things going on, and I am here.
You are here, and it's a beautiful thing. Almaz is here. Oh, beautiful. Coco, badass. Woo-hoo. So much love already. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm going to read a little bit. I'm just going to say a few words about Coco Coalition and the amazing, wonderful coalition, lovingly called Coco, is a social enterprise dedicated to curating holistic, safe, and empowering communities for women of the African diaspora to connect, grow, and thrive. As a social enterprise, Coco is focused on creating opportunities specifically for Black women and sowing in the well-being of Black teen girls by supporting projects that remove barriers to a healthy and secure future. Established in 2018, Coco grew from the demand created by the International Black and Beautiful Women's Brunch series, which was established in 2015 by these three wonderful women. By the end of 2017, Black and Beautiful Women's Brunch, aka BBWB, touched over 200 women across 6 cities, 4 states, and 2 countries. Can we just take a minute to shout some love at these 3 beautiful women? Due to the growing success of BBWB and the express need of creating similar spaces for women, BBWB organizers, these 3, co-founded Coco to expand on the foundation set. Now, let me tell you about these 3. Tiffany, for many of you who's in the top left-hand corner, whoop, whoop, is a mental health advocate with the MSW, a self-love ambassador, a writer, and corporate trainer. She's also the founder and owner of Be Life, which you got to check out, which has amazing just merchandise, shirts, all sorts of amazing stuff, and the co-founder of BBWB. She's passionate about exposing the impacts of traumas to the masses to shed light on the importance of mental health, as well as improve the quality of life in women and girls. Give it up for Tiffany. Woo woo.
Thank you.
Next up, Jasmine is a proud Oakland native in the bottom left-hand corner with a passion to change and enhance the educational landscape in her community. She's a counselor, a trainer, a holistic health advocate, and a businesswoman. She's dedicated to creating healthy families and healthy generations through education and holistic health. Give it up for Jasmine, the magical warrior woman with the most energetic, oh my gosh. Leah came back after the full moon ceremony and she's like a changed woman. So God bless you. That was a powerful ceremony. And last but not least, Mimo. She is the co-founder of BBWB, has a diverse professional experience across broad subject areas such as public health, grants management, philanthropy, and community outreach. She received a Bachelor of Science in Neurobiology, Physiology, and Behavior from UC Davis, Master's in Public Health from USF. What a powerful trio right here. Let's give it up for Mimo. Woo woo! You're already touching lives. Coco says, touch my life. Badass. Well, welcome officially, you three. It is such a beautiful pleasure to have you here. In particular, just like over the years, to have seen each other's businesses grow and evolve and succeed. It's a powerful thing. So thank you for being here.
Of course. Thank you for having us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So is there anything that you want to share about it, anything in terms of your introduction that I missed, that your bio didn't say, that you want to just bring into the room around what you're up to and what Coco Coalition, what you're most excited about on the horizon for Coco Coalition?
I think there's so much. I mean, the great thing about the three of us is that we live, walk, and breathe our passions and our purpose, right? And so this is just one area that we dedicate ourselves. But, you know, Mimo, she also sits on the board of Soul Sisters, another women's empowerment organization. She's really passionate about bringing forth public health conversations to her community. Like in the past, she's done a community health fair for Habesha women of who are Ethiopian Eritrean. You know, Jasmine, of course, she is the counselor. She's the educator. She's very passionate about women's health, women's reproductive health. So she has her brand, JTE, Jasmine Thompson Enterprises, and is really trying to transform communities through that. And then myself, you know, I'm really passionate about self-love and mental health. And so, of course, I have the Be Life. I've self-authored a book. And, you know, even though we do this for the spaces of Black women, we are passionate about women. We are passionate about transforming our communities. And it's not just like just a thing, right? Like we do this in the different dimensions of our life. So I love my sisters. I
love you. Oh, that was so sweet. I love it. Totally.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. That was pretty much it.
Yes.
I think the only thing that's not in my current bio, because I just recently decided to accept this part of my life, is that I'm a practicing doula. And I was like a doula in secret. And then, and now I'm a doula in public. So yeah, I had to go through an experience of accepting that outward facing to folks. So that is not in my bio, but that is a huge part of the work and stuff that I do.
Yes, congratulations. That's huge, Jasmine. That is amazing. I mean, you really are a healer, and that is, I'm so excited for you for that chapter to begin.
I just want to
have to say, yeah, well, hey, we get into existence, right? Something that I don't take lightly. You know, I invite people on this particular program for a particular reason, because I choose leaders who walk in their talk. Right? I choose leaders who embody their missions, and I literally, you three do that in every way, shape, and form. And it's a rare, beautiful gift. It really is. And I just want to say that out the gate, that like this community, the theme of this community, the mission is to elevate others with integrity, to elevate others and actually lift up in service of making tomorrow better for the world. And you three do that in so many ways. And so I'm really honored to have you here and to have you as friends. It's such a gift.
Yay.
Ditto.
There should be like heart emojis in here or something.
I know.
So much love. So much love. All right, so let's dig in if y'all are open to it. Because you've done so much, and it takes a lot of courage to do what you do. And not only that, but it takes courage to lean into a team, right? To do anything on your own is hard enough, right? To do anything with a partner is harder. And then to have three takes a lot of support, a lot of systems. It takes courage, it takes energy and time. And I see you. And so let's talk about what courageous leadership looks like for you these days. What would your definition of courageous leadership be, or who you are and what you're up to manifest these days?
I'll start with that. To me, I think courageous leadership is the ability to have great emotional intelligence, right? Like being able to weigh each other's personalities and things that we're going, that's going on. I'm just going to use as an example, and like being able to balance our work life, our life, and then having to do Coco and other projects, is that we're empathetic towards each other, right? Like we're understanding of the time that we need to step back or we can step in when needed. I feel like that's, to me, that's a courageous leader, is being so understanding of that you're there no matter what, and also being understanding of all the things that you can handle and want to take on and support and all of that good stuff, right? Like you just being a team, and you can't be a leader by yourself. You can't just lead by yourself. Like it's just not possible. When people say like, "Oh yeah, I am a CEO of the things," that's great. I'm glad you're a CEO of something, but you got there because somebody else was helping you, you know, and there is somebody else believing in your mission and your vision, you know. So just really being understanding of all of those components, I think, is a courageous leader.
Absolutely.
I think for me, what Mimo said, and I will add on, it's about faith in the vision. I think one advantage that we all have is that we are not only really passionate, but really big visionaries, right? And we give each other space to allow our visions to meld into each other, you know. And we all have our strengths, you know. There might be some things that I feel really excited about that another may not, and another may not, and another may not, right? But at the end of the day, we all have faith in moving forward together, and sometimes we know that we have to lean in and trust the other person's gut or feeling or vision or something, because we all know that we're all moving towards something, you know. And so to be a leader, you have to know that it's not just about you, right? Like there's something bigger than you, and to be courageous, you have to have faith and constantly believe in something, even if it doesn't make sense, if you don't have the resources, right? And so being able to lean into the vision and lean into the possibility of what can happen, while also being able to just let go and be flexible at the same time so that everything can fall into place, that I think is the greatest thing that I've experienced personally with us working together, because it started out Mimo and I, and then we brought in two other sister friends, and then the first year when we did it, Jasmine actually was just like a vendor and an attendee, right? And then the second year, she came on as a facilitator, but then of course me and Mimo were still planning it. And then the third year, she's like, you know what? Let me hop in on with y'all. Like I can see y'all growing this, and I want to be a part of it. And I know my strengths, and I know I can add to it, right? So every year it was like a step further. Every year we had to, you know, get bigger, more faith, understand like expansion is on the way, and we can't like run away from it, you know. And so now to be in the fourth year of the brunch, but now starting a nonprofit and being able to expand on our community offerings and envelop like girls into it, like this whole process has been through faith, right? Like this was all sparked because we were like, Black women mad about Sandra Bland and all the police brutality. We need to have a safe space, and look what it's evolved into.
And I think the only go ahead, Nemo.
Oh, sorry. We had a question that said, how do we meet? So if you kind of incorporate that into the next, go ahead, Jasmine. Go ahead.
I love it. I think the only thing that I would add, because there's not a lot to add, I think they said it very poignantly and perfectly. And I always tell people, like, with the three of us, is like you get three different spices, right? Yeah. And we know that. And like, so you need salt, pepper, and turmeric like together in the right proportions and the right pinches and dashes. If you just put a whole bunch of pepper in something, it's not going to taste right. If you put a whole bunch of salt in something, it's not going to taste right. And the same thing with turmeric. You know, we are our own seasonings, but together we make a bomb ass spice, and it works, and we know how to lean on each other. So the faith, the courageousness, and in trusting our seasoning balance is really, really important. And we met at UC Davis, and so it's been a layered relationship, right? We all started at different points in friendship and have grown into this sisterhood and community that we've developed, and now we're business partners. But there's many layers to our relationship. And then I think also to what Nemo was saying is that we're very honest with each other. We call bullshit when it's bullshit. We say, hey, sis, come here, you need a hug, or hey, I need a hug, or I'm not going to talk to you guys for 2 days, or I need someone, who's available right now, and it's all with the most tremendous amount of love and care, and that takes courage. It takes courage to love, it's not easy. And to love unconditionally from a place that even when we rub each other, we're like, hey, ouch, ouch, hello, ouch, and we have a conversation about it, but it's never not from a place of love. And so I think that's really important.
So beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. There's so many layers to that. And the root word of courage actually comes down to the Latin word corazón, like cora, which is in Spanish corazón, which is heart, right? And so it's a beautiful connection there. To lead with love takes a lot of courage. And so thank you for lifting all of that up. And now let's take it a step further. So tell us about a time that you chose courage over comfort. Like, it would have been a lot easier not to fly across the country and take a leap of faith and start a brunch in a brand new city, or it would have been easy to, like, you tell me, what's in your hand?
I'm pointing to Tiffany because she's in my upper, she's up there.
Nice. Gumbo.
So we definitely did a brunch in South Africa, and definitely did not know anyone. And how this came about, I already had travel plans to go to South Africa, and as a spirit-led person, I was asleep, and something was like, oh, you're going to do a brunch in South Africa. And I was like, I don't know what I ate, I don't know what I drank, I don't know what I watched, like, that can't be right. And I told them, and they immediately got excited, and I was like, what? No, we can't, no, like, what? How is this going to happen, right? And even though it was a thing that vested in my spirit, they were excited about it, and I wasn't, because I was like, y'all, I'm still planning this trip. Like, how's this going to happen? They're like, don't worry, you can do it, right? And it got done. Like, it literally was planned at the last minute. Well, last minute for me in my head.
Right. Please be clear.
Let me be clear with that. I think it got planned within like 2 months of the date, which was already 10 past too late for me, okay? And not only did we do it get done, the venue was beautiful, it was amazing, we had 17 women. It was our connecting the brunch to like a philanthropic cause. And so we actually connected donations. I had saw a Facebook post and I had joined like a travel group for South Africa on Facebook, just to start getting information and, you know, get tips of what to do, where to go, all the stuff. And I saw someone share that the South African Department of Education essentially launched an effort to collect pads and tampons for girls because it was such a barrier for them not attending school. And automatically I was like, oh my gosh, let's do a drive to get sanitary napkins and tampons. So not only did we have the event and it was amazing, we were able to get donations beforehand and donations there. And I went with someone that I met. She helped me find a high school, and we delivered like over 1,500 combination of tampons and pads. And that was the first time, and to go into this area that was, you know, I mean, it was a private school, but it wasn't in the best area, so to speak, right? And so it's normal that these girls, when they're on their cycles, they don't have anything, you know, to help them, and they usually have to miss school, you know what I mean? And so it was just so amazing, and all the women there, they were like, we don't even have stuff like this here. Like, we just started getting natural hair events, so we don't even have stuff like this. And I was scared, and they like pushed me every single way, even the day of. I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta print this and I gotta print that. And they were like, Tiffany, you're not gonna be able to do it exactly how we do it in the States. Calm down. Like, it's okay. Like, you want to do all this stuff, it's okay. So that for me was the most courageous thing that we and I've been able to do doing this. And once I did that, I was like, going across the country ain't nothing. You know?
Yeah.
Putting on a full-on event.
Right.
I mean, and in addition to that, though, I think it was also courageous of us to go into different cities across the nation. Like, I mean, our goal last year was just to do the States, and then the international opportunity came and we took it. But I mean, even to the idea of just going to DC, Houston, Atlanta, DC, Chicago, all these places, and we don't know a lot of people. I mean, some of us knew some people, maybe like one or two, a sprinkle of, you know, people here and there, but not to.
We didn't really know them.
You know, not to put on events for 20 or 25 people plus. You know, it's just mind-blowing moments like that where you're just like, wow, we did that. Like, that's right. That's really dope, you know? So.
And I would admit they're better at celebrating stuff than I am. They are so good at celebrating.
Oh, I am. I'm the celebratory person. I'm the cheerleader.
Listen, okay? So I'd be like, oh yeah, we
all day.
Right. I'd be like, oh yeah, we did that. And they were like, Tiffany, but do you know that we did that? Like we really did that. Like, we booked venues without seeing them, without being on the ground, without knowing what the food tastes like. And every single place we went to, it was amazing, right? Like, even simple things like that. So courage, you know, intertwined in everything we do.
Right.
Absolutely. Anything you want to add, Jasmine? Yeah, that was good. And, you know, I mean, think about, like, and it's not by coincidence. I just want to remind people, you all have an Instagram. Like, while this was all happening, you had an Instagram page. You had a website. The new website has everything. The old website had some information about upcoming events, right? But there was, you know, I mean, what I think is powerful is your talent, your skill, your heart. People show up for your mission, you know? You didn't overcomplicate it. You didn't do like, we need Facebook ads or we need this. We must have a marketing channel. You know, it was just so authentic and heartfelt. And I think from a community member cheering y'all on in the sidelines, I felt that from the pictures to the conversations and the just takeaways after the fact, it just felt like there was so much love and support. Why wouldn't you want to show up, you know? It's amazing.
Yeah, Yeah, that is true. We Now that you're saying that, I mean, Jasmine has probably said this, or Mimo probably. I'm going to be honest.
Thank you. I appreciate that moment. This is us, okay? This is us.
I love it. I love it.
Like we did a lot, not having a lot, you know, and I think that's the faith part, right? Like knowing that we're coming from an authentic place and people can feel our authenticity and feel our heart. And from the get-go, you know, it's never been about the bells and whistles. It's never been about what you going to show up in and we have a step and repeat and it's flossy and fancy. Like, there's nothing wrong with those type of experiences because girls, you know, we like those kind of brunches and events and stuff, but it's never been about that, you know. We never had elaborate decor and, you know, $500 worth of, like, goodie bags and, like, all these things that people feel like they have to add because it's always been about the dialogue. It's always been about the healing. It's always been about the breakthrough. And it's always been about making authentic connections, you know. And I think the greatest thing, even though I can admit that I don't take a lot of time to celebrate before or after, at least at the end of each event, before, you know, I'm like, oh, okay, we should have did this. I do realize how I can be honest. I do realize how impactful the exchanges are for the women. You know, we do like little video testimonials and stuff, and no matter what, even though there might be details we know that didn't happen or something like that, women will always say how they feel the positivity. They feel the authenticity, that they got something more. I mean, of course, there's always going to be somebody who probably don't get something, but most of the time, people are getting something. You know, we have a very interactive dialogue kind of style, so it's not like piano. It's not like we're just talking to you, talking at you. We believe that, yeah, we're experts, but you're experts. We can all gain something from each other. We can all heal each other. You know, we can all enlighten one another. And it's just such a beautiful, equitable exchange in the space. And I think every year somebody tells a friend, like, oh, I saw that. Or I wanted to go to that. Oh, they're doing it again, you know. And I think that's how it's grown.
Yes. Yes, it's so powerful. It is so powerful. And I think the lesson here is it's so connected to the Spark mission, which is all about authentic connection. Like, we don't need to overthink or complicate the fact that loving each other is really quite simple, and we really need each other, and we're craving healing spaces. And you all hold that with such grace. And I think the lesson of like do one thing consistently. Like my hat goes off to you for staying consistent on Instagram and not overcomplicating it. And look how far it's taken you, you know, like you now have a following of hundreds of people who are like super excited to have a brunch in their city, Austin, Texas. I know there are going to be people here lined up. Just saying. I got beds for y'all to sleep in.
We might come to Austin.
Yes.
We might do that.
I'm ready.
Right?
What happened?
I think we tried Houston. No, we tried to do
Houston.
That's because you didn't try Austin.
We're gonna try Austin. 2019. 2019. We'll be over there. 2019. You'll see us.
Okay. Good. Okay, so tell me what it looks like now. If you're good turning a corner. Did anybody else want to say anything about that last question before we turn a corner?
No.
Okay.
I'm good.
So tell me what it looks like to show, because so much of what you do is show up with a very specific purpose, with a very specific group of people, and lifting up and healing right together as women in your skin, in your experience. And so what does it look like for folks to show you support, to show solidarity? What does it look like? Like, where have you seen great examples of women rising up across difference, or shining a light on the power of what you're up to, or moments that you felt really inspired or compelled to rise up with other women, like even the Soul Sisters connection? Like, how can we, I guess my question is, how can we all continue to lift up women leaders in authentic ways, especially when we need more women at tables during these times?
Mm.
Yeah, that's a Mimo. I'm like, Mimo, we both look like that's a Mimo. Hey, Mimo. You know we know each other. I'm like, Debbie, that's so funny.
Well, I think, well, the support that we've received is that, like, at least from the community, from the Bay Area community, that at least from the friends and the people that we're connected to, they've definitely applauded us, right? And they always wanted to kind of, like, they post a flyer for us, or I mean, I've seen one of my white girlfriends write Black Girl Magic, and like that is, I think, you know what I mean? It's like acknowledging, it's like I am your ally, I see your magic, and I will acknowledge and be there and be in that space for you and hold that space for you. I think that's really important. And then also, you know, there has been times where, like, they know that it's a space for Black women, so there is there's no guilt associated with, like, why am I not included in this group, if that makes sense. And I think it goes both ways, right? Like the support of, like, yes, continue this work. We need you to do it. We'll post a flyer. We make sure that all of our Black friends or people who identify as a woman of African diaspora, they can come and, you know, be in that space with you. But there's also a space that that is needed within your community, and I understand that, and it's an experience. And so there's been a lot of that balance, which I appreciate and love, at least from the girlfriends and the people that we all know, you know what I mean? And I think it just says a lot. And I think that's the type of support we need. It's not to say that this is an exclusive thing where nobody can support it and it's just all Black people to Black people. It's not like that. That's not the message we want. We want to make sure that it comes across that we are just trying to have a safe space that is not provided for us elsewhere. And it's sacred, it's beautiful, and it's just something that needs to be protected. But we also love the love, right? Like, we also love the unity that comes with it outside of that. And that's why we're putting on an event on April 2nd. Like, we want to make sure that we have an event that also includes our allies and men and all of these things, are in any preferred pronoun. You know, it's like, we want to make sure there's that balance as well. So we're being mindful of that. But I feel like the support comes from other people knowing that they can respect that space, and they also support it from afar, you know? Yeah, there's that balance. And I love that. I really love that. I haven't seen anybody combat us for that, which is awesome, you know? And then it says a lot to what we're doing. We're approaching it with love, and we're being met with love. Yeah. It doesn't have any harsh thing around it, which I appreciate so much.
Yeah.
I think that the only thing that I would add in addition to that is just trying to change the narrative around women of color, Black women and women of color, that, like, we are all we have, or that we don't need support, or we don't need protection, or that we don't need someone to champion for us, or, you know, we need all those things. So that's one of the reasons that we're hosting the launch event, and so that people can come out and just love on us, right? And because Black women need to be loved on. And so even if we're doing something for us, by us, right, Black women for Black women, does not mean that there's not other ways that you can love on us and support the things that we're doing. There's room for you totally at the table, right? To be there, to stand next to us, to stand behind us, in front of us, you know, and on the side. And so, but it's really important what Mimo said, is that there's not a lot of spaces for women, 1, and then for women of color, 2, and then for Black women, 3, right? And so for us to be authentic, transparent, vulnerable, right? And to support each other. And so we hold that space very covenant, but it does not out anyone. It does not you know, it's not a hard thing like Nemo says, but it invites people to love on us as much as they want to.
Yes.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Thank you. That's such an important part of the conversation. And now more than ever, you know, we need our spaces where we can really fully be vulnerable. And I'm on a mission personally to change some of the narrative around the divide, and that it's us versus them, or like who has seats at what tables and why. It's like we all actually need our spaces, and then we can come together stronger. But we actually can't be our strongest self if we're not taking care of ourselves. And I so appreciate the clarity of your mission and vision and values, because I think it's just so evident how much people are receiving it because of that. Like it's so critical. So thank you for sharing that in such a beautiful way.
Yeah, I think it's really, this is really important to me as a personal thing that I've shed over the years. And when I first was a facilitator, I did the how to maintain healthy boundaries, right? And just self-care. And that the strong superhero lady, she's not real. And and we need to be loved on. Like we need I think I did a post a couple of days ago that was like, we need our partners, we need our community, we need our friends, we need our family. Like just because you're seen as a strong person in your family does not mean that you don't need to be loved on or cared for, or for someone to check on you or do a kind thing for you, right? And just giving people permission, right? Giving the women of color permission to be soft, and giving the people permission to love on the people that are your strong people, right? And so it's just a really important conversation for me to have openly with as many people as possible, you know, because it can hold you in a bondage that's not healthy.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think what I'd love to hear more about is, you know, just like you were saying, you want to change the narrative, especially for the next generation. So tell us why it's so important for you all that young women of color look up and see role models, look up and see women who are strong, bold, beautiful, brilliant, vulnerable, and standing in their power in a collective unit, supporting across generation. Tell us more about that vision.
Well, you know, it really stems from the fact that I think that the three of us have been blessed to be constantly surrounded by positive, empowering, uplifting, motivating, driven, emotionally intelligent for the most part, self-aware, like wellness-centered friends, right? That's abnormal. We know that
totally
how we have grown as women, meaning like from college to this point, the women that we have had ourselves surrounded by, whether it was us, right, like Jasmine mentioned, our relationships have, you know, evolved over time, but even the pockets of women that we brought into our circles, you know, individually or collectively since college, these are not normal people. These are not normal people. Okay, these are people that care about their finances, they care about their mental health, they care about their spiritual health, they care about uplifting other women. It's not the drama, I hate you, I'm gonna call you a bitch, you trying to steal my man, like all this stuff. Like all these tropes, stereotypes that could definitely apply to people's life, especially Black women. We don't experience that stuff, right? And we've come to understand that even though we haven't experienced that stuff, life has still had its challenges for us, right? And we've still had to learn how to acquire tools to be our best selves. So imagine girls who don't even have the social support, the extracurriculars, the all the protective factors that folks outside of the home or systems outside of the home can provide in the socialization process. Like, where are they going to end up at our age, right? And it's pretty evident all the pressures that girls have nowadays between social media, reality TV, like, you know, all the drug pushing and songs and all this stuff, right? Like, it's just very, very different. And I think that the value in what we bring is that we actually have not only personal experience in these things, but we have tons of professional experience in what we're doing. And we know, and we've all had community organizing background. We've all worked with young people. Like, this is something that we've all done, right? So collectively, we know the importance of supplying young people with the tools that they need to thrive, right? And because this is Black women's focus, naturally it's going to be focused on, you know, Black girls, right? And so it's this notion of, yeah, we're healing Black women in the present, but we're doing all this to empower Black girls for the future, you know, so that they can have the tools that they need, not necessarily to not experience life that we did, right? But just to have tools to maneuver through life differently, right? Like, and the health barriers and the educational barriers, like, so much research has been shared around how these two big things really affect the outcomes of girls, right? Just in general, girls who receive education or higher ed, right? Like, the GDP of those countries and societies are usually much, much higher. Like, there's so much value on girls' lives, but there isn't a lot of focus on giving them the tools that they need, you know, to become the type of women that can be productive to society.
Yes.
Anything
I want to add? That was beautiful. Drop the mic. I mean,
For real.
Yeah, that was that.
That plus, you know, I just think in African-centered homes, or even if it's not consciously centered, right? Like, we have so much trauma, a history of trauma and brokenness, a lack of openness to, like, mental health conversations and self-care and all this stuff. And so we're trying to also break cycles, right? We're trying to break cycles. We're trying to, you know, help give girls the tools, or support programs or efforts that help give girls the tools to break those cycles so that they can, like, overcome things, you know, that a lot of our, you know, ancestors and mothers and et cetera or whatnot have had to face.
And I think it happens from both ends. So it's important to just lift up that it happens from both ends. So someone who's already in tune with holistic health and good mental health practices might bring their sister friend who is not to our brunch, right? And that person then might start having courageous conversations in their own families, right, around certain things that are explored at our brunch. So it's both and. It's not just that we're having the conversations with the girls, but there are cycles that can be broken with the women and with the girls, right? And we just never know. And we're all faith-based, spirit-led people, and we just say what we need to say in the space, and we make space for each other to do that. So I think that will be the only thing that I would add, is that it can happen on both the woman's side and the girl side.
Yes. That's an important piece, like, of real sisterhood, of real alliance, allyship. Like, when we see someone who we love and care about, who needs to be uplifted without even saying anything. Just
like,
saying,
come on, just brunch, boundless mimosas, girl, they got
we don't. Yeah, again, it's like, it doesn't need to be complicated. If we just have each other's backs. I mean, Tiffany, one thing that I'll offer, you said your friendship isn't normal, right? Like you said, it's not normal. I heard you say the word normal a lot. And I feel like you all are you're redefining normal, right? What if that's like, it's unique what the divas have? It blows me away. Like, before I was even in with Leah, when we were friends and colleagues, I was like, what is this amazing group of women? It's like magical powerhouse brilliance. You know, I had never seen anything like it. And I think you'd redefine normal, right? Like, you have every woman deserves that. Every woman deserves that. And it opened my eyes to what we should expect in sisterhoods. It opened my eyes into what we should expect with friendships, with all circles of community. Like, we deserve to raise the bar for ourselves. All of our friends, all of our family members deserve to say, I am worthy. I am enough. I deserve, if this person does not uplift me, then I'm actually going to choose not to be in that space because they don't energetically bring me up. Right. And I think like too many women settle for, just settle, like, because they need the space to be filled, when the space is the most sacred thing that we can allow people into. Right. And so
listen now, Rachel, okay? Listen.
I just had to say, like, oh, all right. So location.
That ties some stuff into my spirit, Lord. Ooh, okay.
We're in it. We're in the, and that's why you're here. That's why I love you all so much with all of my being. You have opened my eyes. You have touched my heart, like from a friendship level, from a business level. Your mission is beyond any business model. It's global. It's going to change the world. And it gives me so much hope and inspiration, and I'm going to cry because I see you. I see you. And you redefine normal, and we all deserve that. So thank you.
Thank you. Love you. Coco, she asked where we are. So we're based in California. I'm in Los Angeles, and then Mimo and Jasmine, they're in the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm. And are people allowed to make requests for brunch locations? Can they like say, hey, could you do a brunch in this? Maybe you could have like a what's it called? Like a wait list kind of thing where people can make requests and say, hey, well, are you coming to this Washington State, for example? That's where Coco is. Kenny's in Philly. Who else? I know there are going to be people watching the replay, but yeah, tell us.
Yeah. So, when we did the leap last year and went to the different spots, that came from, it was just some spirit thing in me. And I was like, oh, wow, this city came up, this city came up, this city came up, right? But what I'm learning is just because you get it don't mean that it's supposed to happen in that time, right? So most of the cities that we went to, it was cool, right? There were two lingering ones that were on the list that we didn't really do, which were Houston and Seattle. And so I still reserve that in my spirit for whenever that comes to fruition in the future. But like this year, we had somebody that I'm connected with on Facebook. She was like, man, can y'all come to New York? New York never popped in my gut, right? And I was just like, okay, if something comes up, then, we'll ask the woman who wants it, do they want to be involved in the planning, right? Because at this point, it's like we can't outgrow our resource of time, right? And so if someone comes and sends us a message, it's like, sure, sis, do you want to hop on the planning for that, right? Because everybody has full lives, right? Like, I'm the only one that's not working full time right now. Mimo and Jasmine both serve in multiple capacities in their full, very, very over full time 9 to 5. So Jasmine is an instructor and a counselor, and she be doing stuff for the district. Mimo is a director of like multiple programs, public health programs in Africa, be up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning on calls, right? So, we all have very like full things going on. And so we know that as we expand, we need more help, which is why we also launched an ambassador program. So now in DC, we have 2 ambassadors. In Chicago, we have 2 ambassadors, and they are going to be championing their cities and going to be growing mini Coco communities there, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's what we want to do. Every time we go to a city, and if it lands with the women that have attended and they're like, we need this energy, then it's about growing communities in those places so those women can champion their own cities. Mm-hmm. So that was a long answer to your to your question, we're not going to do the waitlisting yet, right? Maybe sometime in the future. But if we do get individual inquiries, it is something that we're like, okay, that's a possibility. We can tag it on next year, and then, sister, let's talk about how you can help us.
Right.
I love it. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Well, you've got a request for Portland, Oregon, and Vancouver, Washington in the house. So, you know, just saying.
That's so cute.
Oh, beautiful. Well, that's powerful. I so appreciate you. The three of you have an ability to set boundaries with such strength, like, yep, 2019, like, no question. Or like, it's a beautiful thing. And it's again modeling that, right? A lot of us need exposure to women walking firmly on their path without being pulled or pushed or any of these things. And it's like, you'll always have a house in Austin, and I can wait till 2019. and I have so much more respect because you just have such clear boundaries. It's a beautiful thing. So thank you.
We'll be there though. We'll put you on the
I'm ready.
Got you.
Ready.
Got you. 100%.
Beautiful.
I'm going to stay in that room that you're in because it says love right behind you, and I'm here for it. And I'm like, I want to be right there.
I want to be there.
My room's ready.
Exactly. Oh, beautiful. Well, wonderful. As we are getting to our final descent, is there any question that I didn't ask you all that you feel called to share? Anything that is on the horizon, or anything that you just feel is moving through you, that you want this community who cares deeply about courageous leadership and communities coming together across difference to hear from you, any of you? Invitation is there.
Well,
Go, Tiffy.
okay. So,
I'll just fill in. I know. I'm looking at you, but I'll fill in. I got you.
Okay. So, Coco is definitely in its infancy, and we're making sure that we are a secure, thriving nonprofit from the very beginning. And so this year we are definitely going to be looking for board members, securing board members, really getting funding under our belt to be able to operate not only the brunch but the expanded offerings, community offerings that we have, that we want to have, because the brunch, Rachel, it's come out of our pocket.
Oh, I know, yeah.
These last 3 years, right? And so even last year, let's talk about courageous around spending money for something that you ain't about to get money back for, okay? Yeah. And for a frugal person like me, let me tell you, that's courageous, okay? And so, we came out of pocket for plane trips, like plane tickets, for hotels, like all that stuff. And we've never charged the amount necessary to recoup all those costs, right? So as a nonprofit, we are making sure that we don't have to have extra personal burden. Not that it's a burden, but you know what I mean, personal weight, and be able to fully fund what we're doing, be able to, possibly give money to our volunteers so that they can champion their cities and not have to come out of their pockets. This year we're going to be having a conference in Oakland because that is where our home base is. That's where we started. That's where the majority of our supporters are. There's things that we want to do for the girls, like possibly mentorship or scholarship, things of this nature. So this year is really about getting the word out about Coco, but really securing the foundation. So, I would just say, follow us, on Instagram. Right now our handle is blackbeautiful_brunch. We have the Facebook page for the brunch. We have our website, which is www.coco, that's COCO, coalition.org. And the best thing that anyone can do, man or woman, is subscribe to our newsletter, because we're going to be giving updates throughout the year of the things that we're doing. So, board solicitation, we're going to be having a crowdfunding campaign launching April 1st. So we'll be, trying to collect donations via that as well. And just spreading the word about, what we're doing, because things will unfold over time. We're not big braggers, but we just be like dropping stuff like bam, and people like So that's how it goes. So stay in the know so you can stay in the know.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
She totally.
I was trying to do the fancy, put the thing on the thing, but it didn't work out. I was trying to send the website to the big thing. Didn't work out. Yeah.
Oh, really?
It just was a team.
Let's see. Yeah. It's Coco Coalition.org, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to be fancy. It didn't work out. Thank you.
There we go. Got you.
And then one more thing is, I don't know if you mentioned it, Tiffy. Maybe I missed it, but we're launching and doing a fundraiser on April 2nd. And it's at Alamar. It's going to be for everyone, anybody who is our ally and wants to support us.
That's in Oakland.
It's in Oakland. So if you know anybody in Oakland, or if you are in Oakland and you are in town around that time, please come join us. We would love to have you in the space.
Nice. Right on. Awesome.
Yeah, and I think just share what we're doing. Tell somebody, send our profile to someone, send our website to someone. Subscribe to anything that we have. If you think that there would be a good connection, send us a DM, send us an email. We're happy to have conversation with anyone who thinks that they have, any type of resource that they want to share with us. And for folks that are in the Oakland area, if you buy your ticket before March 30th, you will be placed in a live drawing. Right, live drawing on March 31st for Warriors tickets to the game on April 1st. Whew. Right, so I will say that again because I was a little jumbled. If you buy your fundraiser ticket by March 30th, you will be put in a live drawing on March 31st for the Warriors game on April 1st. Lots of ones in there, but there we go.
That's powerful. I'm so jealous. I will be back in Oakland after your event, but I wish you so much. It's going to be powerful. I know it is, but I send all of my warmest wishes and like good vibes and energy your way. It's going to be such an exciting thing to be officially kind of, it feels kind of like a coming out party. Like when you're out, it's like, it's a thing, right? And so you're out, and congratulations. It's been a beautiful journey to see you on, and it's been, Spice is in the house.
Spice was like, you didn't ask me no questions.
I know, he's like, has it been wonderful? Really?
I love it. He's very excited.
But yeah, thank you. Thank you for making the time. I know you're all very busy, and the fact that we could all four be in the same space at the same time is nothing short of miraculous. So we did it.
Thank you. We love you.
Love you too. Okay. Thank you so much. All right. We'll be in touch, y'all. Okay. Much love.
Much love. Thank you for watching, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Make sure to comment, questions, anything you got. We're here for y'all.